Okay, so the first thing I'll let you do is just introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, my name is Matendo Angula, but I'm also known by Ndela.
Okay.
I am originally from Congo, and I've been in Sioux Falls for almost 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Congo, about your journey here, about school for your children. But the first question I have is, what are your hopes and dreams for your children and for all the Congolese children living here?
Well, my hope is to be in a better and safe place. Comparing to my country or where I came from, my country has never been in peace ever since it had its independence in 1960s. So my grandfather, my father, and myself have been flowing out of our country for seeking for peace. So when I get to America, I believe I get to a safe place, and that is one of my hope. My kids and myself are living in a hope and safe place. Besides that, this is a developed country where everybody is free to do whatever they want to do. And education-wise, from elementary school to high school, nobody paid school fees, so kids are having more chances to go far and beyond with the education. So as a parent, I hope my kids, and not only my kid, as a community leader, I also hope kids from the Congolese community to go far with their education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your journey to Sioux Falls. So a little bit about your life in Congo, about your life in Tanzania after that, and then coming to Sioux Falls.
Well, it hasn't been easy to get to America. As I said, I was born in a small village called Abala, and I was born in 1988. In 1996, the war broke out in my country. There was rebels group fighting against the government. Then one Sunday on October 28, in 1996, a rebel group attacked my village. They collected all the people and they regrouped them in one church where they shot everybody. And I was one of the people that got shot on my left leg. As you can see the way I walk, I got shot on my left leg.
I didn't notice a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah. I know, because I got treatment here when I got here. After that, everybody was already gone. Nobody came to help us because everybody ran away after that shooting. Then I was lucky, my mother survived from that killing. Then she tried to carry me and my young brother, and we were seeking for treatment. Luckily, we got someone who helped us with some treatment until we get to a place where other people were there and they start treating us. So we stayed there for a couple months, and then since the war was extending to all over the places in the country, we were forced to fly or to go away from our country, and then we went to Tanzania in 1997. I started living in Tanzania in 1997, and I started going to school there. Well, I finished my high school. I got a scholarship from UNHCR, and I did some college. I finished my studies. Then the UNHCR has a process to interview people, those who have been through difficulties, and I was one of them. I came to America. That was in 2009. Life in refugee camp has never been easy because you cannot do anything. Right. We are not free like we are in America. You are under control. First, we are all put in a place called a camp, and you cannot do anything. You cannot go far from there. So all your life has to be in one place. But we had a chance to go to school, and I appreciated that. Everybody was free to go to school. We did some studies. I came here in 2009 with my son. Well, I didn't get a lot of chances to go to school since I was alone. and it was a little bit complicated with life here. But I started working here. I've done a little bit studies, not many, but I'm glad I'm here. That's how I got here.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing. I'm sure there's more you didn't even tell us about.
Yep. I can tell everything since we don't have enough time.
Enough time for exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, what are some key cultural norms that are similar for people in your community and different for people in your community than how we live here in America? Things in your culture that are similar to American culture and things that are different.
Well, one of the things that is very similar in America, what I've seen comparing to my country, is believing God.
Mm-hmm.
On that, we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, some things are a little bit different, especially when we sit on the table eating. Mm-hmm. Over here, everybody is eating in his own plate.
Uh-huh.
But in our country, we can all put the food in one plate and we're all sharing together.
Yes.
That is different. But also, when it comes to educating kids, the system American educate kids and our system of educating kids is a little bit different. We are more family oriented comparing to American life. Mm-hmm. I believe America is a business country, so people care more about business than families.
More independent.
More independent.
Yeah.
So that is totally different to what we have seen here, and it's a little bit challenging for us, you know. That's social life. We take it from home to school, back home. So the teachers and everybody in school is taking the same initiative in school to keep kids in the same, I can say the same education. Mm-hmm. or when it comes to social life.
Sure.
Well, whoever is old, we treat him as an old. Whoever is child, we treat him as child, but with respect and dignity. But over here, it's a little bit different.
So what things would be very respectful in your culture, and what would be disrespectful in your culture?
Well, one of the things in my culture, the oldest person is the one making the final decision. Mm-hmm. Let's say if I am living with my father, I cannot make any decision on behalf of the family. My father has to decide. If my grandfather is alive, my father cannot make any decision on the family, regardless of what it is. But in America, it's different. Mm-hmm. My son can make his own decision, and I can make my decision. Mm-hmm. Let's say in my country, if I am working, my father is not, but he can still make decision on the money I earn from job.
Okay.
Yeah, but here is not the case.
Yeah, that's interesting. What do you wish people understood? What do you wish American people understood about people in your Congolese community?
Well, they need to understand that we are different. Mm-hmm. They need to respect our culture, and they need to know that the way we handle our situation is not the way Americans are handling their situation. So they need to give us a chance to deal with our stuff as we do back home. Yeah. And I can give you an example. Mm-hmm. Let's say my son is misbehaving. When he is misbehaving, the way we do it in my country, if I keep telling him he doesn't listen, I can take that case to school, and the school can teach that kid the same as I do. But it's not the case here. Mm-hmm. They say, no, this is your son. If you need to deal him as parent, and we deal him as school. Uh-huh. So we cannot combine those two things together. But at the end, we need to know we're all parents. Yeah. And we want those kids to be successful. That's the main goal. Family and teachers, we all want those kids to be successful. Absolutely. So we need to come together saying our goal is to make these kids to be successful. So we need to work together when it comes to social life and make sure those kids, they are respectful and they behave nicely home and school. They can just behave good at school and not behaving good home, or they can behave good home and not behaving good at school. So in order to keep that, we need to be on the same page.
Yeah, come together.
Yeah.
Big team.
Big team.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of school, can you describe how school is similar in your country as here, and what might be different from school in your country as here?
Well, school here in my country is totally different. Totally different.
Nothing's the same.
The only thing that is the same is just they are going there to be educated.
Okay.
But other than that, everything is different. First, kids wake up, they go to school, riding bus or riding parent vehicles.
Yes.
In my country, especially the area I come from, nobody has ever had that chance.
Sure.
We used to walk like sometime 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up early, you shower or you do whatever to get ready, and you start walking and you make sure you get there on time.
Mm-hmm.
If you are late, there is a punishment. You're gonna get beaten 5 sticks or whatever it is, depending on how the school want to do. To just make sure tomorrow you're not coming late.
So that would be different than here.
That is different than here. When you got to school late, maybe they just say, well, you are late, you get a pass, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
What happened tomorrow? It's gonna come later. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get another pass. It's over. The same. Then he's gonna keep doing the same over and over because he knows he's gonna get a pass. But
fine.
if there might be some punishment, I believe they might have been changed.
Okay.
Where kids eat at school. Where I come from, nobody eats at school. You're gonna be there for 6 hours, 7 hours, and you go eat home when you get back home. That is different.
Mm-hmm.
After school, everybody ride the bus, but back home, we go the same way as we came. So that is very, very different.
Very different.
Yep.
What about the subjects you learn? How many children are in the class?
On that one, that is another thing. The subjects, some subjects are similar, but the number of kids in school, that's amazing. I will give you an example of myself. When I was in 8th grade, we were under 20 students in one class.
120?
120 students.
Oh my goodness.
That's me. And I'm giving you a true example of myself. So, and I believe, but right now, a minimum can be between 50 to 80 children in one class. And another thing, the teacher, over here, the teacher has a class. So the students are going in teacher's class.
Right.
But back home, the class belongs to student. The teacher come where the student are.
The teachers move.
The teacher moving.
And here the students would move
Here,
to the
the
class.
student moving to the class.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's different.
That is different.
Yeah,
But the subjects would be similar, math.
with math,
Science.
with science. Another key thing back home, we still stick on religion. Yeah, but people still, as they were Christian or Muslim, you're still going to take the religion class up to 12th grade.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one thing I've seen different here, but anything else is different. And also, when it comes to geography and history, over here, everything is just American stories.
Right.
But back home, we go all over the world. We study American history, European history, Asian history, American geography, the world geography, but here is a little bit different. Just on those two things.
What about languages?
Languages where I come from, the official language is French, but we also learn English at school. It's not more like here, but everything is in French.
Right.
Yeah, but we start taking English classes from 7th grade to 12th grade. Yeah.
More languages than most of our
More
American
languages,
children.
most of them American children.
So some others have told me, so tell me if it's true for where you were as well, that you must pass an exam, for example, at the end of 3rd grade to be able to go to 4th grade. Must pass exam at the end of 4th grade to go to 5th grade. Is that similar?
Yep, that's everywhere in Africa, I can say. Every class you are in, you must do the final exam to pass. If you fail, you will still be in the same class.
Okay.
Yep.
No matter how old you are.
No matter how old you are. We don't go by ages.
Mm-hmm.
We just go by how smart you are. If you're not smart, you will drop school. That's how it is back home. Yep. Yep. We don't go by ages. That's another thing.
Another difference.
Yep.
Anything else you can think of that would be similar or different?
Let's see what.
Probably. If you think of something, you can tell me.
As for now, no. If something comes up, I can share it with you.
Just say it.
Yep.
All right. What do you think are some of the difficulties students and families in the Congolese community experience in school here in Sioux Falls?
Well, one of the challenge I can say, this is especially on parents. Most of parents, they don't understand the American system of education.
Mm-hmm.
When they first come here, as we all know, the majority of them are not speaking English, so they don't really know what's going on in school.
Mm-hmm.
And some kids, not all of them, they are taking that advantage.
Mm.
They keep telling the parent wrong story about school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is one of the challenge and difficult in immigrant families.
The kids get a little bit of power because they get the language.
They got the language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And parents might assume that it's more similar to what you've experienced.
Yep.
And
It's not.
so different.
So different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other difficulties?
Another difficult. When parents go to meeting, it's not really easy for teacher to be very open to the parents when it comes to tell them how the kid behave or how they do in school. Every parent is told, your son is doing good, is brilliant, is smart, is doing everything great.
Mm-hmm.
And comparing to what we have seen, personally me, I am the leader in our community. I've been checking with many kids. And when they finish school, they're not even able to read a letter. They're not even able to translate something to their parents. They're not even able to go to college or do something else on their own. They're still relying on some people when it comes to translation or something else. Mm. It's not the case for all of them, but the majority of our kids. Mm-hmm. So this seems to be a little bit different.
The message from the teachers is a little bit too nice.
Yes.
Too nice.
You know, yeah.
Got it. Any other difficulties you can think of?
Another difficulty is when people first came to America, as I said, with the language barrier, people are sticking to jobs and they leave their kids with more freedom.
Yes.
They don't have chance to be with them or to control them. You can see father and mother going to work on the same schedule. When kids got home, nobody is there, and kids have more freedom. And whatever is happening home, parents are not aware of it. So that is another challenge. And you can see a lot of immigrant kids, they are getting involved in gangs, groups, and some other of kind of those stories because nobody's home to take care of them. They know my father is coming home at 12, so he's going to come home from school, let's say 4 o'clock. He's going to jump with his friend, and he's checking his watch, it's almost 11, let me go home. He comes back home at 11, the father comes back home, 12, he checks the kids, they're all sleeping. He doesn't know what happened when he was gone. So that's another challenge.
It's hard.
Really hard.
Because working those night shifts
might
pay a little more
not just paying more, but it's also getting a ride.
Sure.
Because when you first came here, you rely on people that help you with ride and translating maybe.
Yep.
So you want to take advantage of those help.
And then the problem is nobody's home to watch.
Nobody's home to watch kids.
Yes. Any other difficulties you can think of?
I think that's the major
Those are the
one.
big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, what programs or things have the school done that have been helpful for the children in school or for the families in school?
Well, one of the things is giving all the kids chance to go to school without checking they're smart or not, without discrimination. Everybody has chance to go to school. That's one of the good things the school has done. But also, the school tries to give kids more opportunities to be in school, regardless of who they are. And I've seen most of teachers, they are very nice trying to help kids. But some kids, they don't want to take that chance.
Choose not to.
Yeah. So the school is trying its best to make sure everybody succeed. Yep. When it comes to that, the school is helping.
So what do you think, what would be some suggestions you would have of changes or something new the school district could do that would be helpful for students and families in the Congolese community?
Well, one of the things I can say, and I mentioned it early, is the school and parents need to come together when it comes to educating kids. I know it's not really easy according to the American law when we say freedom.
Sure.
But when it comes to educate our kids, we need to think this is our future generation. These kids, they're going to be our future president, they're going to be our future teachers, they're going to be our future doctors, they're going to be our future nurses. So we need to prepare a group of people which will be responsible.
Yes.
So we need to come together on that to make sure we educate them nicely, they behave nicely, because we don't want to have crazy doctors. We don't want to have crazy nurses. We don't want to have crazy whatever we want to be or whatever we expect them to be in the future. And if we do this, I'm really sure we're going to have a strong community in the future.
So some challenges that some schools face coming together with parents are the same challenges you just talked about. Language, sometimes the time that people work, the schedules are different than the school schedules. So what suggestions would you have for the school to be more flexible in working with families who might be in those situations?
Well, one of the suggestions I can say is most of immigrant communities, they gather on weekend in churches. So the school could delegate people to go meet with those group of people.
Go to where everybody is.
To where everybody else is. Because it's not easy for school or teachers to go in kid homes, but they can gather somewhere. Also, they can work with community leaders, try to bring them together, even if it cannot be a church, because as you all know, we have different beliefs. Not everybody go to the same church, but the community leaders have power to bring everybody to a meeting. So the school can work with the community leaders to bring those parents together, and they can send someone to pass their message. But also, the teacher need to be honest to tell the parents how the kid behave in school, how well or how bad they're doing in school. Yes. Because
we can't do anything if we don't know the truth.
Yeah, if we don't know the truth, we can know anything. We can do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this has been wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we finish?
Yeah. Another thing I can say, and when I got here in Sioux Falls, we had a community college.
Yes.
A Killian Community College.
Community College,
But I was surprised back in 2012 or 13, somewhere there, it was closed. And now, our kids, not only immigrant kids, but our kids, all of us, they need to go to Augustana or University of Sioux Falls, or they have to go to Brookings or Vermilion. And all of those schools are universities. When it comes to cost, it's expensive. When it comes to levels, it's a higher level comparing to community colleges. And I mentioned it early. Based on where we come from, our kids were not in the English-speaking environment. They've been doing their studies in some other languages. But when they finish school, we just want them to jump from high school, they go to university. What the result? Some of them end up by dropping or they fail.
Yep.
So I would recommend the school, if they have that ability, the school district, to bring us a community college in Sioux Falls.
It's been a couple different things. The USD Community College is like a little stepping stone to the big colleges, but more awareness would be good for sure.
Yep.
Anything else you want people to know about the people in your community?
Like what?
Oh, I'm just anything.
We have
anything. We've covered a lot.
We have a lot of stuff we do in our
thoughts?
community. We have a lot of stuff we do in our community, but what I can say, we are a family-oriented community, and we respect one another, not only when we meet, but everywhere we go. We show that attitude. That's us.
I can say that has been my experience with people in the Congolese community. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I think in Swahili I say asante sana.
Asante sana,
How was that?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.